Middleton. Am I hearing other stip stomps? Hopefully not of big bads. Doesn't seem like of big bads. Oh, I heard. There you are.
Take him to the shelter for war.
You're who I need to make friends with, right?
Slap some moss in that gash and wrap it well. Ego, look at me. Remember the boars you felled our first day in England? All his arms. 9. Large and fat. Fed us for a week. Yeah? You'll be chasing more in a month, my friend.
Her voice sounds familiar. Maybe someone that's done a lot of voice work. And is in all sorts of roles all over the place, if I had to guess.
Valkyrie out of the fog. We have no debt to give you.
You must be Soma.
Let's talk elsewhere. Give them a chance to rest.
Look at this cool rock I found. Never mind, I threw it away.
Quite a hit you took. How many were lost?
It's kind of you to ask, but with so much blood in the water and death on the air, I'd know your name and purpose first.
Eivor of the Raven clan. I came for you, looking for a friend and ally.
I see. I'm Soma, Lord of Grantbridge. Though it seems an order of lunatics wishes to strip me of that title.
The Order of the Ancients?
Sounds right. The Saxon called Wigmund is one of them. He robbed me of my city, forced us into these swamps. I've rallied some of my soldiers, but my 3 advisors are missing. If we hope to retake Grantbridge, I'll need them at my side.
Tell me about them.
They are my best, my inner circle. Birna, Galin, Leave. We may as well be of the same blood.
If I can reunite them and we retake your city, can I call you a friend and ally?
If you can do all that, you can call me whatever you want.
Tell me about Wigmund.
This is Wigmund. What does he want?
He's a flailing elderman under the old king. A bitter man digging his fingernails into Grantbridge, just to say he can. He's made many attempts to unseat me before. This time he managed a trick.
Okay, well, how did Grantbridge fall?
What happened to Grantbridge?
The elderman Wigmund seized it from us. I'm not sure how he managed, but he will not keep it. Not for long. He has supporters outside the city, but this attack seemed to come from inside the walls. From the heart of Grantbridge.
Alright, why did my button stop working? Click on the game again. There we go. Jeez, let's go find your people.
Let's find your advisors.
Agreed. We'll look for signs of their longboats along the river. And if we are swift, we will find them before the wolves do. The fog is more hindrance than hiding place now. Let's light the way back.
It's gonna be like an introduction to a new mechanic or something. The Tang. Oh, not the Tang. Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna be taking out a bunch of these guys. I was thinking about between sessions looking up if there is like multiple endings and stuff that I have to do, like going and killing all the Order of the Ancients and stuff. Alright, I have a couple points that I can assign. But I forgot to do that, I'm gonna be honest. So, haven't exactly done that yet. Let's see here. So, things that I wanted were like that. The fight ready. Maybe that, I don't know. Maybe. That would just be like a little bit of extra damage along the way, so I mean, may as well. At some point here. Let's try this. Then as I'm running around and doing stuff, I can do that. Hydron Slam? What's this? Letter to you. I do not have long now. A few hours at the most. This place is as good as any. A beautiful view of the setting sun or the bright stars should I last into the night. I've met people so afraid to die alone, but as I lie here writing this, I see there is nothing to fear. After all, it is a journey we must all take alone, with no one and nothing in tow. And so to whoever should find me, I leave you this key to my home, in hopes that that which I leave behind can find new meaning. Well, I don't know where your home is, and come this time tomorrow, I'm probably going to forget I ever did this, if I'm going to be honest with you. Middleton door key. Oh, so it's right around here, so maybe I can try to remember to do it before I leave here? Maybe? Maybe.
Burn Long and Hut, bright wolf of the
Advisors
brand,
rescued.
and guide Soma's gilded warriors home.
So there's like some house here with the best loot ever. Can I see that there's like a locked thing around here? Because it sure doesn't look like it. I don't care to read that. And it just says find and rescue Soma's advisors. Oh, it does mark them on the map here. Online service error, and now I can't move my reticle. A problem occurred while trying to communicate with the Ubisoft online service. Well, my stream hasn't died again, just making sure of that really quickly. Please try again later. Visit supportubisoft.com if the issue persists. I wasn't trying to play my single player game online, but thank you very much, I guess.
That it's foolish to search the Fenlands for so few people.
You told me the soldiers you lost were your
That
best,
guy's still marked over there.
vital to retaking the city. Do you think it's foolish?
Not at all.
These guys
Then
blue.
why would I?
But to say, can I take them with me or something?
You does well with solitude. You're alone, a wanderer.
Well,
Maybe you think of soldiers as war fodder and little else. But these warriors are more than a blade and shield. They are my family, nothing short. I've lost a city this week. I will not lose them too.
I understand.
well, let's hope so, depending on how these missions go.
We'll find them.
Well, we'll see here, and I'll kick a few guys. I wonder how I get more adrenaline notches in this game. Like in Odyssey was upgrade my spear. Why is that guy just always marked whether I want it or not? Ubisoft. Oh, Ubisoft. Let's see here. So over here. Bunch moving this away. Alright, I see some dudes, and whatever that is bugging the heck out. I love how the ones I'm seeing through the walls have reflections cast onto the water. Well, I can't do any of that. Alright, this is fine. Thinking about rations. I hope that Metal Gear Solid Delta comes out this year. I'm looking forward to continuing my Metal Gear series. Wait, can I, like, from here? Uh-oh. What? Wait. Oh, he did see me. Never mind. I think. No one else notice? Am I not hidden right now? Am I not going to, like, escape combat here? Oh, I do. He's gonna run over this way. Must have been the wind. And stab. There we go. Get that dude out of here. Then, why'd I pull up my sword like I'm going into combat? That would be why. Please go around this corner. Hello, hello, Emerald Finder. Thoughts on Valhalla so far? I don't get the point of it. Quite frankly. Like, what am I doing here? The story so far is go make friends. And that's all I'm doing. So I did one whole plot arc of making friends with this one kingdom. Now I'm doing a plot arc with another. But there's no real definitive endpoint that I can quantify. Like in Odyssey, the main quest, there's a few different main quests. Like, but the main quest, the mainest one, was go reunite the family. That was your experience too. This is where it's like, once I get the family together, I win. That's the win condition. That's the end of the game. I got the family together, and the game is beat. You know, or even like the stuff with Atlantis. After I get all the artifacts, I seal away Atlantis. Like, I can quantify that. I see that there's 4 pillars, 4 artifacts. I go do 4 things, and then this plot line is through. I've beaten it, you know? Whereas in this, it's go make friends. Okay, what is the end? Do I have to do it, like, until I made friends with everybody on this map? Until every territory is done? Is that the end point of the game? And if so, what then? Like, what happens to the story then? Like, it doesn't really feel like anything's moving the overall story forward past you just made another friend. It's kind of like the story progression in Mario and Luigi Brothership, where all the individual islands don't really contribute anything at all to the overall narrative. The only thing that each island contributes is, hey, you connected another island that you need to beat the game. That's what making friends in this feels like, where it's just like, hey, I made another friend that I need to beat the game. Who knows how many, and it's really not moving forward the overall narrative, and so it just feels kind of pointless right now. So whoa, that was weird. So I'm just kind of playing on autopilot and not paying too much attention to the story because there isn't really an overall narrative that I can enjoy or anything. I mean, maybe there will be and I'm talking too soon, but like, it's just kind of,
camp is at its base.
like, the story at least is just kind of boring so far. I do like some of the gameplay changes compared to Odyssey. Like the stuff where it's like you can target weak points and then get like a stun strike. There's parries that bring down like that will meter that build you up to getting a stun strike and stuff like that. I like how the kick ability is back and I can rig up my soundboard and stuff. And the stamina meter means that I actually have to pay a little bit more attention to combat instead of just like turning my brain off and going like dodge attack, and all that. Like there's a bit more in the way of options here. In Odyssey it was just dodge or parry if it's a normal attack, and if it's a red attack, dodge. And this, there's a little bit more strategy behind it. I don't even know how the hell the runes work yet. I have not bothered to look into it. So like, there's a little bit more depth here to enjoy, but I feel like once this game takes as long as it'll inevitably take, I'll probably end up getting bored of the, well, combat gameplay in it too, but it does have more going for it than Odyssey's did, and I do appreciate that. The music is just kind of like, it's there, but it's not anything super, gosh dang it! Super standout. And nightmare mode here is play perfect or die. I always play games on the hardest difficulty on this channel, and I like it when games present like a meaningful, genuinely really hard challenge where it's like, it's hard, but it always feels possible. Just like play well. But difficulties like this where it's just like, yeah, you're gonna get either one shot or two shot, so play perfectly or die. It's just like the lazy way out of making a hard difficulty, in my opinion, as someone that plays a lot of hard difficulties. So I'm not really a fan of this style of hard difficulties. Like, it doesn't really feel like the developers thought about like, how can we make this a meaningful challenge, instead of just going like, yeah, let's just pump up the enemies like absurdly so and tell the player play perfectly or die. So, I'm not exactly a fan of that. I wasn't the biggest fan of it in Odyssey either. But, yeah. Yeah, and smart AI, stuff like that, that changes how the game works rather than just like major buffs. But yeah, that's what I was warning you about when you were finishing Odyssey, when the entire game feels like a fetch quest. Yeah, it's feeling like that so far. I'm definitely feeling it, Mr. Krabs, I will say. Oh, well, that guy burned. But yeah. And I really like it when games do something that fundamentally changes, like, how you actually play the game in the hard difficulties. I know I've given this ramble a couple times. Whoa. But yeah, I dropped about 80 hours in for that reason. Yeah, I'll try to finish all the main story stuff, but because of that reason, I'm not going to be doing side stuff along the way for, like, the first half of my playthrough like I did with Odyssey. I am literally just going to tunnel vision the main objective. The only side things that I could see myself doing is going around getting, like, skills that I want. If there's, like, specific skill books that I want to get that will serve me for, like, the entire rest of the game. But doing, like, side quests and stuff, I can't lock onto you at all. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't think I will. Unless it's the most convenient on-the-way thing ever. Like that one guy that wanted me to throw all his belongings off the cliff and then he jumped off the cliff. Like, stuff like that. Otherwise, I think I'm literally just gonna tunnel vision the main objectives of this game and, like, not do anything else, really. This feels like the kind of game you just listen to music and zone out playing. Yeah, that's kind of the impression that I get. Where it's like you boot up the game, watch, like, some YouTube on the side or something like that, or a TV show you're enjoying, and then just, like, turn off your brain and, like, continue to make progress through, like, the vast open world where you're doing who knows what. Something that progresses it. And that's all you really know/care about, because there isn't, like, an overarching narrative to get, like, drawn into. This is very much what it feels like here. This is fine. When it comes to hard difficulties, the example that I always use is Last of Us Part 1, and I guess Part 2, because I assume it works the same in that. I haven't played it yet, though, so I guess I don't really know for sure yet. Let's go ahead and revive you. It'd be so funny if I could kick you off right now, but I don't think it'll let me do it on allies like I could with Odyssey, because it has to, like, lock on, grab them with the hatchet, and then kick them off.
What happened here?
But yeah.
Chased me into the fog, ran me smack into a nest of...
Alright, cool story, bro. I'm going this way now. Or maybe I should go get the viewpoint while I'm going through. Since it's close-ish, and then I don't have to go there again. Just do it while I'm doing this mission.
Are you the only one of your crew left
But I always
standing?
compare it to, Last of Us Part 1 grounded mode. But yeah, it's not quite autopilot enough to be a podcast game. I guess it depends on what you're doing in it, potentially.
Go there, Gal.
Like, there is, like, the occasional cutscenes and stuff here where it's like, oh, what are my relations with this person? But I think it's a question of, like, how much you care about it. You know, how much you care about these relationships and interactions and all that stuff. But with Last of Us Grounded mode, I just immediately went into, like, the hardest difficulty of that game without playing, like, any of the easier difficulties. And I think it was Eagle that was telling me, like, oh, don't do Grounded mode on our first playthrough, it's brutal. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it anyway. And I played Grounded mode, and I actually really liked it. So normally in gameplay in Last of Us, you can, like, hold a button. I think it's one of the top bumpers, and it's called Listen mode. I don't remember exactly because I haven't used it. Where it slows down your movement, but then you can see guys through walls, like zombies and other human enemies and stuff like that. And then you can plan things out accordingly. But in Grounded mode, it takes that away. You don't have that. So when I was playing Last of Us, I just had, like, my own volume turned up really high, and I was listening. Like, I needed to actually pay attention because the game wouldn't tell me where these guys are. I need to figure it out for myself based on, like, environmental clues and noises and just me genuinely paying attention. And I mean, if they do see me, if someone does sneak around the corner and kills me, checkpoints are pretty close by. So I will have, gosh dang it, man, only lost like a minute of progress or something like that. And then I go into it again with like added information that I didn't have the first time, and then I get better and better at it each time until I get it. Like, I really quite like that kind of gameplay style where it's like, it's on me to figure it out, both through like my own observation and listening, and just trying it until I've figured it out and I feel like I've come up with a decent enough strategy based on like the pieces that I've put together, rather than the game just telling me what those pieces are. So it fundamentally changes how the game... Well, it's like 20-25 minutes later, something like that. I already closed the game because I thought it was like not happening tonight at this point. I guess I can open it up again. I sat here for well over 10 minutes listening to this stupid quest guy talking about how he's hungover. And OBS continued trying to reconnect with Twitch every so often, and it kept on failing each time. And I was wondering if like maybe something was going on with OBS or like my internet in general. And I thought it was strange that none of the chats that I have around on my different monitors said connecting to chat, like it had disconnected from the internet. Like is usually the case when my internet dies, like was the problem earlier this stream. I could tell that I was disconnected from the internet, like the internet was down, because all of them were saying connecting to chat endlessly because it wasn't connected. But what was strange about this time is it didn't say connecting to chat. And I did think that was a little bit odd. I didn't think about it too much at first. And I decided to try out actually using the internet a little bit. And it worked fine on my computer, for the most part. Like, there was a little bit of issues here and there where, like, the game told me that it disconnected from the network or something. And when I closed the game, because I thought I had to pack it in for the night, like, Ubisoft Connect was like, oh, couldn't sync your game with the cloud saves and stuff like that. But clearly I was still connected to the internet. I noticed in the bottom right where it shows, like, the internet connection on my desktop, I didn't show a LAN cable icon, it showed a Wi-Fi icon. My motherboard does have onboard Wi-Fi. So, like, at first I thought it was an OBS thing, it's just being weird. And I stopped streaming, I started streaming again, didn't work, it couldn't authenticate with Twitch. So I closed OBS, I opened it again as administrator. I tried to, yeah, here's a guy who was rambling about his hangovers. I don't know how much I was cut off from, like, my difficulty discussion there earlier. Tried running as administrator, it still didn't work, it couldn't authenticate with Twitch. I logged out of my Twitch account on OBS and would log back in. And it would successfully let me log back in, but then it would cancel out and be like, could not authenticate with Twitch, and it would cancel it. And I did that a few times until I noticed that Wi-Fi symbol. And my Ethernet cable is kind of a piece of crap in that the little pin that like clicks it into place, yeah, that doesn't work on mine. It hasn't for a long time. So I just kind of push it in as much as I can. And I guess like maybe I nudged my computer a little bit over time and it came loose enough that it switched to Wi-Fi from LAN. And I guess I can't authenticate with Twitch on Wi-Fi for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I went under my desk here. I pushed in the LAN cable a little bit farther and I was like, oh, okay, well, let's try streaming again one more time after I'd already closed the game. and then it seems to work. If I have internet issues again, I'm just gonna call the stream early. And I was fully prepared to end the stream early there. What the heck?
Hi,
But,
stranger.
yeah,
Excuse
so
me.
I didn't know what was going on, and I was getting
Do you
pretty
notice
ready to
anything
just,
on
like,
my
pack it in for the
head?
night and just stream something else tomorrow.
It's, an itch or a
But
cut that
I guess it was
simply
literally
won't
just
go
my
away.
Ethernet cable coming loose this time.
Appears to be a
So,
battle scar.
yeah, I guess I can go a little bit longer.
As I
Where the
suspect.
heck was I in my rambling?
It must be from my most recent battle. You should see the other man. He got the worst of it.
Worse than... I suppose it's possible, yes? If he's headless?
My arms are numb from battle. Does it need any dressing? Do you think it is a serious wound?
You have an axe in your head.
You have an axe in your head. It is grim.
Oh, now when my chat
I'll
says
check
connecting
it
to
out,
chat,
but you will surely
please don't have the
resolve
internet actually
the
die.
next
Oh, it
phase.
reconnected immediately. Phew.
Valhalla it is. I appreciate your candid response. Now I prepare myself for the sights and sounds of the corpse hall.
I will relieve you of the pain it gives you. Send you down the Bifrost.
It is time.
Well, this is a quick quest that I can do on the way then.
There's a
They
great
didn't always
meat
get
hall
along,
nearby.
but they bonded since we took
We
Grand.
can
She's gonna keep on talking here.
In a way,
Nothing finer
both considered
than an
themselves my
endless
second
night of
and hated the other
drunken
former.
glory.
But I do
Make
not
you
rank my
forget
family like I
all
do
of
my
the
horses.
dishonorable
Competition
thoughts in
in
this
war.
world.
All your enemies have been slain.
Well,
Now, you rejoice. Competition can mar the love between siblings for life.
well, world
can
event
also bring out the
completed.
best
The
in
wound
people,
wands of
if the fire is
friends.
stoked right.
Okay, I got a bunch of experience for that. I got 1,200 experience, which filled up like a fourth, a fifth, something like that of my experience meter that is blocked by my camera. Wait, what? Where? Who? Huh? Who? Who didn't want me picking up this pot? Oh, snakes is who? Are you gonna be set on fire? Nope, guess not here. Oh, Ubisoft games. Collect. What, this rock? Roman artifact collected. Okay, I got an artifact. And where the heck was I on my difficulty discussion? I know I was talking about Last of Us. I don't know where I got cut off. I know when I realized that, like, it was down, was right around the point that I was talking about bullets and stuff. I don't know where I was actually cut off, though. No, I know I've had this ramble before in, like, my Odyssey playthrough, so whatever. If some of it is missed this time, it's whatever. Where the UI doesn't show, like, your currently equipped gun, how many bullets are in it, core challenge complete, and how many you have in stock. Like, you can check your backpack for that anytime, so, like, you can still check it. It's not like that information is just lost to you. But in the field, you don't have, like, a quick glance to be able to see it. You need to actually mentally keep track of it yourself, and it's putting more of the burden onto you. The heck?
Saxons.
I assume you're, like, bugged out here, but you look like one of those spirit rabbits from Breath of the Wild. So you kind of look like, with a little highlighting staying on you. Now it's gone.
Best not to draw attention here.
Okay, let me go ahead and crouch down here.
Can't even open one barricaded door.
You'll rot in hell when we're
Alright,
done
well,
with you.
they're having fun over there. And there were multiple times when I was playing Last of Us where there'd be like some dude charging at me. So I'd pull up my gun in the game, go to shoot, and then it just goes click because I don't have any ammo loaded into it, even though I have plenty of ammo in the pocket. And I go like, oh no, and then I die because like I didn't do anything to stop them charging at me and they killed me. And that's very much an instance of me going like, okay, I deserve that. Like, it was on me for not loading that ahead of time. Like, that was information that the burden was put on me to keep track of instead of just being told to me. Like, it would be the case in a realistic kind of scenario. Whoa. Where it's up to me to keep a note of that. What? Do you know that I'm here? Where are you going? Where are you going? And so a lot of the time, I would just like cycle across all my firearms and check that they're all loaded, as one would have to do realistically. And with that and the absence of listen mode, me actually needing to like pay attention to my surroundings and pay attention to like my own status with like health and like my current ammo status and what's loaded and what I still need to load. Like, it felt very much like the burden was on my shoulders. Like, I've never experienced playing The Last of Us normally, but it felt like playing The Last of Us normally would just be like the game telling you, hey, here's all the information that you need. Just play the game and interact. Whereas the fun of playing on grounded mode is the burden of figuring it out is up to you. Good luck. And it doesn't feel unfair in that sense. It's not like a, like, I kind of like the discovery a little bit in Odyssey and Valhalla, where it just generally tells you the area and you kind of have to look at the map and figure it out. Like, that doesn't feel too absurd, but it's not like an open world game that just gives you some vague hints without knowing exactly where to go and then figure it out. Like, that kind of thing just feels like a chore and annoying. Like, it's information that is there right around you actively, like it's a linear game. It's not some vast open world to explore or anything. All the information is right there around you. It's up to you to use, like, the mental power to be keeping track of that and be paying enough attention to it to notice these things. And so, because I was, like, as hyper-focused as I was paying a lot more attention than I do in a lot of game playthroughs. Like, a lot of game playthroughs I do around here, I'll get to, like, a certain flow of the game where I just kind of start playing it on autopilot. Kind of like I'm playing this game right now. But I never really experienced that with Last of Us because I was, like, so engaged by the game requiring me to be the one keeping track of all these various elements, and I really liked that. So it was a hardest difficulty that changed how I had to play by putting more of a burden on my shoulders in terms of what I was expected to do and keep track of, as opposed to a hardest difficulty mode like this where it's just like, yeah, just play perfectly or die. I mean, there was a little bit of that in grounded mode as well, as I'll get like 1 to 2 shot, and I did have to play really careful. Like maybe I would get 3 shot in that in grounded mode, if I had to guess. Maybe 2 to 3 shot, depending on like the hits that I'm receiving. So like, it was still hard. But those hits felt a lot more avoidable, because if I had just played it stealthy better by keeping track of these variables that are put on my shoulders to keep track of, then I wouldn't have been brought to that situation in the first place, assuming it's not like a boss battle, but the boss battles never felt that hard anyway. Old Roman letter. Dear Gritian, your performance at the Battle of Adrianopolis was unfortunate. However, the army is loyal to you here. We would like to march on Gaul and defend it, as many of our men are native to it. The soldiers long for your inspiring speeches and the young fire you imbibe them with in battle. Please meet me in Leon at your behest. We will make plans to take Thrace once more. Magnus Maximus. I'd almost never be beating like a level on the first try when I was playing Last of Us Grounded. Like, they are definitely significant challenges that I'd have to try multiple times. But because like each section was like so small that if I die, I would only go like a smidge back. Like, I was never losing all that much progress. Like, of course, there would still be some times where it's like, ah, man, I got so close, now I have to redo a bunch of stuff. But I would have, like, so much information at that point that I'd feel so confident in my ability to do it. Whereas in something like this, like, sure, I'm getting more information about where people are and, like, some attack patterns and stuff like that. But it's still like, yeah, I get clipped by, like, some random thing on the side that I didn't see, or deal with Ubisoft hitboxes sometimes, and it's like, well, guess I'm now restarting the entire section. It just doesn't feel good. Like, when I was playing Last of Us, it felt a lot more deserved when I was dying, and it's like, okay, yeah, I had that coming. So, it's a kind of thing that was, like, a genuinely difficult challenge, but it felt like a meaningful challenge that kept me engaged throughout. That's the kind of hard difficulty that I enjoy in games. And again, I always play games on this channel on the hardest difficulty because I like to discuss in my reviews, like, was it a meaningful hardest difficulty? Or was it just something like this where it's just like, yeah, let's just pump up all the enemies to the point that you have to play darn near perfectly and call it a day. Like, yeah, it's harder, but it's not necessarily a greater meaningful challenge. Like, it's a greater challenge, but not a greater meaningful challenge. It doesn't change the way that you play in a meaningful way. Past, play perfect or die. And I'm not really a fan of those kinds of hardest difficulties. I prefer ones that are very, very difficult. Like, to the point that I might have to try it over and over and over again. But it never feels unfair, you know? And that's something that I very much felt with The Last of Us, where it's like, I would be trying things over and over and over again. But it didn't feel unfair. I'd be like, oh yeah, that was deserved. I'll try to not make that mistake again next time. Whereas in something like Odyssey or Valhalla, I'll get clipped by like some random crap and it's like, oh, man, really? That something just gets me in the toe, you know? So, Yeah, that's what I feel when it comes to hardest difficulty. So I'm not the fan of this, not the biggest fan of this one. I'll still continue to play it out in this one anyway.
By tomorrow, our strength will have returned, and we can retake our city. I have not yet spoken to Leif, Birna, and Galin about this. After my missteps, I worry what they must think of me.
They will be grateful.
They'll be grateful you risk your life to find them. I would be.
By Thor's hammer, I am glad we're together. In spite of our setback. Galin, you look well worn. Do not grieve the men you lost. They will be singing your praises in the Corpse Hall, waiting for us.
Thank you, Jarl's Corner.
Leif, you'd outlast any tempest.
It's good to be back, Soma. All as one. And know this, that I will follow you through the eye of the storm if you called.
Birna.
I mean, technically, the eye of the storm is where it's calmest.
You're alive.
I'm delighted to be living. I lost so many after all this, but I still have you three. That makes me the most blessed warrior in Midgard. And Eivor, you have more than proven your worth. Help us reclaim our city, and you will have an ally in me.
My blade is yours. For Grantbridge.
We'll rest for the night, gather our strength and our wits, and at the break of dawn's light, we retake Grantbridge!
So, is it that easy, or is there a
Pass the
catch
night
that
in our
extends
camp,
this story
Eivor.
arc?
Take anything you need.
They're not actually gonna let me take anything. That's just a story thing, right? Not a gameplay thing. If I had to hazard a guess here. Do you have any more RGB I can equip?
Looks like more of Soma's forces followed the beacon back to camp.
Maybe I should call it RGV. Red Blue Viking. Because that's what I am. New quest glory regained. Does it not automatically equip that one? Oh, it is automatically equipped. Okay, so if I have a look at skills here. Is there anything that's like immediately connected to these that I might want throughout the game? I'm gonna have to remember that I can do this Hydron Slam. Let me try it really quickly. So if I'm sprinting like this. Okay. Well, let's just try to remember as best I can that I can do that. Let's see here. Have I ever done a leap attack? Maybe. This is just gonna be a little bit more DPS when I'm parrying anyway, so I may as well. Longship brace. The ones here. First successful enemy attack deals no damage and you knock them back. Does that apply when I have two-handed weapons too? Heal on kill? Ooh. Oh, but that's only if I have no rations. Lame. Ignore hit interruption while perform successive melee attacks. Well, I don't want to be taking all that much damage anyway. I wonder if these outside webs with like skills right close are like DLC ones or something. Only arrows from archers. When at less than a third of health, hold that for partial healing. It doesn't matter. How much does that heal? That much? Yeah, this doesn't matter. If I'm at that much health, I get one shot. This is pointless in this difficulty. Speed boost at the cost of stamina. That's the arrow one. Reverse sprint becomes unblockable and knocks enemies back at the cost of stamina. Okay. Yeah, the loot food is nice for just like general health over time. Damage increases the lower your health. I guess that is free DPS. Like, even if I'm losing just a smidge of health, that's slight better DPS. Will award adrenaline. Alternate shot. What, is like alternate shot a little bit weaker, but it gives adrenaline? Like, what do you mean? You're immune to all damage while performing a roll. That could help me. That one might be good, actually. Just flinching from hits while aiming with your bow. I'm not really gonna want to be taking all that much damage there anyway. When your health reaches a critical state in conflict, everything around you will appear to move slower, giving you time to heal or flee. That could be pretty good too. Hold B while sprinting to slide into enemies and knock them off balance. Okay, so I've been sliding. It's just be able to do that into enemies. The archer there. Automatically carry a body after successful assassination. I'm probably not going to use this all that much, but I'm going to try to use it and be like, what the hell, why is that not a mechanic? This is what's probably going to be the case. I'm probably not going to be killing anyone with ranged. I'm probably going to need to assassinate to kill them. Holding that will fill an adrenaline slot at the cost of a ration. No thanks. Pick up loot. Just be handy utility thing. Here, let's do this for now. That's what I think I'll do.